Hey, what I have come up with for today is basically a warm-up exercise to work several different aspects of my picking technique that actually kind of drive me nuts. There's two things that have been bothering me the most when it comes to alternate picking, and that is descending three note per string scales or scale ideas tend to be more difficult for me. I don't know if it's just because of working against gravity, going this way, or what, but it's a problem. Also, I found that alternate picking arpeggios, thing most guys would sweep pick, naturally is a bit of an issue, unless you're Steve Morse, but we're not. So I came up with this little Etude, this little thing that you could do to hopefully combat both these problems. It's working pretty well for me. It's been something I've worked on for a little while, and it seems to be getting some results if you stick with it. Basically, it's nothing too complicated. What I did is I just took those two concepts of an arpeggio and a descending scale and kind of alternate between the two and come up with something kind of hopefully musical. And it's actually based around the chord progression of a song, a very famous song, which you'll find out in a minute. And I use that as my template to come up with this. So in the end, it is something you could actually listen to somewhat without getting completely bored, hopefully. So here it is. Basically, it's an A minor arpeggio, descending, ascending twice, and then a three note per string, what amounts to basically a D Dorian. It's played over a D minor chord. Then it'll go G major, C major, F major arpeggio, B minor 7 flat 5, and basically you could think of it as B Locrian, I suppose. So far it's all diatonic to A minor though. And then for the last part, over the E7, I basically took an Yngwie riff, ripped it around, ripped him off, spun it around, and reversed it, and basically went like this. So here it is all together. And I made it so that it would end very close to where it would begin, so I could easily loop it without having to jump halfway across the fretboard to get back to home. So it ends up actually ending a half step away from where it begins, so it's nice and convenient. There is another part to this that I've come up with, but I'll show that later. So here it is one more time. That's basically it. So the idea is just basically loop it until you can't stand it anymore, and break down each individual part too if you have to, and it works pretty well.